While the idea of a 4-day workweek gains traction among white-collar workers, foreign domestic workers in Malaysia are advocating for something far more fundamental: the right to a single day off each week. Several foreign labor organizations have urged the Malaysian government to formally recognize the contributions of over 100,000 domestic workers by introducing key protections, including a mandatory 24-hour weekly rest period. In a joint statement, the Association of Nationalist Overseas Filipino Workers, AMPO, Indonesian Domestic Workers Association, PERTIMIG, International Domestic Workers Federation, IDWF, and Our Journey described the right to a weekly day off as long overdue. According to a survey conducted by the first three groups, 95% of the 108 migrant domestic workers surveyed reported being denied a weekly day off. Alarmingly, 15% said they face physical violence, threats, or verbal abuse from employers when requesting time off. Speaking at an event marking International Domestic Workers' Day on Sunday, Bar Council Migrants, Refugees and Immigration Affairs Committee Co-Chairman Datuk Sri M. Ramachelvam said that despite recent amendments to the Employment Act in 2023, including reduced weekly hours and extended maternity leave, these changes still exclude foreign domestic workers.
So it is important that the contributions made by domestic workers is recognized, and also to provide legal protection, as I said. So the government should take steps to enact at least regulations that protect domestic workers. Of course, the call is for domestic workers to be recognized in the legal framework of employment in our country. So a domestic workers legislation is imperative. So that's something that the government needs to look into seriously. The other area that the government needs to look at is the work conditions, to ensure that the work conditions of domestic workers are humane, that comply with international standards and norms, and that there is no exploitation.
He also called on the Human Resources Ministry to introduce standardized job contracts for domestic workers and to issue relevant regulations.
One of the important things, or the immediate things that the government can do, is to come out with a standard contract for all domestic workers, and that standard contract be made applicable for domestic workers throughout the country. The other thing that the government can come out immediately is also to issue regulations, which is within the powers of the minister to do so, without going to parliament and so on and so forth. So the minister is authorized and empowered to issue regulations. So this is something that the Minister of Human Resources should look into immediately.
Our Journey Director, Sumitha Shantini Krishna, echoed these calls, advocating for policies that allow domestic workers to live outside their employers' homes. A move, she says, would reduce abuse and grant workers greater personal freedom. Meanwhile, Indonesian Embassy Labour Attaché Harry Ayusman said Malaysia offers some of the region's strongest protections for Indonesian domestic workers, citing the 2022 Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) between both countries. The MOU ensures mandatory leave, social security, insurance, and outlined employment rights. However, he noted that many complaints received by the embassy involve undocumented workers, urging Indonesians to enter Malaysia through legal channels to ensure protection under the law.